Welcome to the tour of the lifts and the escalators in Dudley town centre. There aren't many lifts and escalators in this town anymore, as most of this town is derelict. The first place we come to is Cousins, but unfortunately I did not have enough time to film the lift in Cousins, which was a nice old Evans lift. But click the link below to watch the lift in Cousins. It is a really nice, awesome old Evans gated lift with manual door. The building opposite Cousins is the Churchill shopping centre, the Churchill precinct. And this precinct used to have a department store chain called BT's. Now, BT's was a big chain of department stores just before they were bought by House of Fraser. And they used to have the toy departments in the basement, but when House of Fraser took over, the toys were removed from the stores, which was really annoying to people who was a good fan of the toy departments. And this BT's here had some Otis escalators and even an Otis lift. However, the Otis lift has been modernised a couple of years ago. Well, has been. And you could see there's the doors. But upcoming to 2010, BT's in Dudley was losing money. And of course, the escalators were badly maintained and kept breaking down. And then the store closed down in 2010. The shop now is Iceland and it only has one floor, meaning the escalators and the lift is now removed. So you can no longer see the lifts or the escalators, well, the lift and the escalators in the store, as the lift shaft has now been removed, and the same goes with the escalators. And now to Peacocks, which is located in the town centre by the iconic Dudley Market. Now this Peacocks store is on 2 floors. It doesn't have an escalator, but does have a lift, which is a high-tech, but sadly it was out of order. The next shop is Poundland. Now, back in the day before Merry Hill came along, as you probably remember, this was a defunct department store chain called BHS, known as British Home Stores. Now, BHS was traded in 2 towns before Merry Hill came along with Wolverhampton and Walsall, which survived until the administration in 2016. And the 2 original towns were Dudley and West Bromwich. And up until Merry Hill opened, Dudley and West Bromwich closed their BHS stores and were relocated into the Merry Hill Centre. The BHS here was then replaced by Spencer's Market, and Spencer's Market used to have branches at Merry Hill Shopping Centre, and there was even a branch in West Bromwich and also one in Stourbridge's Crown Centre. And now Spencer's Market have ceased trading, and this was then taken over by the 99p stores and is now branded as Poundland. And now to the other Poundland, which is adjacent to the previous one I have just shown you. Now, this did not open as Poundland. This opened as another defunct department store chain, Littlewoods. Now, as you probably remember, Littlewoods was another good big chain of department stores, just like BT's and BHS. And Littlewoods had branches in Kidderminster, Wolverhampton, and even over West Bromwich. And they also had one at the Merry Hill Shopping Centre. When the one at Merry Hill Shopping Centre opened, this shop had opened for some time, and then later it closed and is now a branch of Poundland. And as you can probably tell, that it's still retro style inside in the Littlewoods condition. And now to the shop next door, which is Plaza Mall, which is an indoor market hall. Now, this indoor market hall was one of the best stores that everyone liked, Woolworths. Woolworths was a big chain of stores and operated across the West Midlands in areas such as Wolverhampton, Telford, Shrewsbury, Kidderminster, Stourbridge, and all the different towns across the Black Country. But sadly, in 2008 to 2009, Woolworths went into administration and was removed from the high street. And then later, this branch of Woolworths is now become a Plaza Mall and is still in the original Woolworths condition. And of course, this Woolworths used to have a back entrance, but when it got refurbished a couple of years ago, they closed the back entrance. But when Plaza Malls took over, they reinstated the back entrance to gain access onto Flood Street, King Street. which is by the Littlewoods Clearance. But however, the Littlewoods Clearance outlet, which is now an indoor market hall, fruit centre, is not shown in this video. And however, this building also has some really nice old Evans service lifts. The next building used to be a hotel. It then became department store chain M&S back in the day, Marks and Spencer's. Now, as you probably know, M&S operate a big chain of department stores across the West Midlands, especially in Birmingham and even in Wolverhampton, and used to have a branch in Walsall but later closed down. And also there's 2 stores at Merry Hill, there's one in Kidderminster, and there's even one in Worcester. Now, as you probably know, M&S closed the store in Dudley and West Bromwich and is now moved into the Merry Hill when it opened. And this building is now occupied by Wilkinson's, known as Wilko. And Wilko has some Otis escalators and a generic lift. They used to have a really old Otis escalator, but they were actually split in half. I was meant to say escalators, really. So they used to have 2 old Otis escalators, the up one on the left and down on the right. Anyway, let's ride the present day ones. Here is the lift that is located at the back of the store. This is also used as a service lift, as there are lots of service floors in this store, and even there's a gated door right at the back of this lift that goes out onto King Street, but that is only used for staff only. Here is the spot where the old Otis Down escalator used to be. And now I am heading up the town towards Top Church, and to this iconic building here, which used to be known as the popular Co-op department store. This later became a blunt shoe shop, but now it's like a second-hand shop these days, but still in the good Co-op department store condition, and apparently the upper floors are now abandoned. And I don't think there was any lifts in this store when it was Co-op department store, because I don't think lifts were invented back in the day when Dudley was bustling with all the big name shops. This building here used to be known as Gray's, which was another big chain of department stores, but then Gray's was taken over by Debenhams, which has bought other different independent department stores such as Owen and so on. But then Debenhams quit Dudley and only had stores trading in Birmingham and Walsall, and of course the modern day one at Merry Hill Shopping Centre. And now to the Trident Arcade Shopping Centre. Now this shopping centre is only on one level, so there isn't any escalators in the shopping centre, but however there is an underground car park, but there's only a ramp and staircase, and there is even a lift that goes down to the car park. This shopping centre used to have good name stores back in the day, like WH Smith's and also QS, and there's quite a few that I'm going to mention. Well, one just after I've shown you the lift. And nowadays this arcade has only got independent shops. So anyway, let's see the lift then. Here is the lift that goes down to the car park. It used to be a really nice old Keithley lift and was then replaced by a Jackson lift. But however, when I went, this lift was out of order. And now along to what used to be supermarket chain Sainsbury's. Sainsbury's closed in Dudley before it moved to Merry Hill, which closed in 2016. And however, the other nearby Sainsbury's stores are in Blackheath and Albury, and also at Amblecote as well. And Sainsbury's was one of the best known supermarkets to be seen in Dudley. Sainsbury's in Dudley now is B&M Bargains, and B&M Bargains operate some good big name stores across the West Midlands. And now along to River Island, which has been recently closed down and is now vacant. And as you probably know, River Island has branches at Merry Hill, Birmingham and Wolverhampton. And this River Island did not have a lift, it only had stairs. So that meaning disabled could not go upstairs because there was no